Willkommen zu BusinessWise, dem monatlichen Podcast der AHK Rumänien. Zusammen mit unseren Gästen bieten wir Ihnen kurze Einblicke in die wirtschaftliche, soziale, politische und kulturelle Landschaft Rumäniens. Schön, dass Sie dabei sind.
Hello again. I'm Sebastian Metz, Managing Director of the AHK Romania, the German-Romanian Chamber of Commerce. And today the conversation is about Romania path to the OECD membership. The expected benefits and responsibility and the broader impact on also on our neighboring countries like Moldova or Ukraine, and as well it's a collaborative regional project. But first of all, we are of course concentrating on the status quo here in Romania. And my guest today is Luca Niculescu, State Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Romania, and the National Coordinator for Romania's OECD accession process. Luca, nice to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sebastian, for inviting me. I think it's a great opportunity to talk to you and to talk to your listeners, and also to talk about what the OECD accession means for Romania, and not only for Romania.
Perfect. OECD is since 2 years a very high topic. The estimate was that the procedure for joining the OECD, an organization that brings together the world's most developed economies, would be completed this year. And should we understand that the most difficult files, let's say like this, have been handled, and that Romania could become a member sometime in 2026, Luca?
Yes, let me start with a quick reminder of what joining the OECD means for our country, for Romania. So it will be basically our third anchor, strong anchor after NATO in the European Union, in the world of open, transparent, high-performing economies made up of states that respect international values and norms, a world we belong to, and also a world we want to strengthen our presence in. As you know, beyond the image many people have of the OECD as a club of rich countries, OECD is a global benchmark for best practices. It is where international standards are set in key areas of the economy, economic governance, taxation, corporate governance, digitalization, health, education, to name just a few. And to become an OECD member, a country essentially has to align itself with these high standards. The current Secretary General of the OECD, Matthias Cormann, once said that the OECD is a force of good in the world. And that's exactly right, because OECD helps countries to design better policies for better lives, which is also, as you know, the OECD motto. So now back to your question, Sebastian. I would say I'm a cautious optimist. So I would say that we have several reasons that make us believe that this year, 2026, could be the year of our accession to the OECD. First, right now we are very close to finishing the technical stages of the process. We have completed 23 out of 25 assessments mentioned in the accession roadmap that OECD provided to us almost 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. So there are some difficult chapters like corporate governance, public governance, anti-bribery, financial markets, competition, environment, and waste. So you can see that we have completed quite a lot. So we also implemented more than 100 priority recommendations received in the assessment process. And I will give you just a few examples. We joined the Anti-Bribery Convention, which is the most important international legal instrument to combat bribery in international transactions. We modified our private pensions law, aligning the reimbursement phase with the accumulation one. We adopted the revolving doors legislation, which is a mechanism that prevents conflicts of interest when moving from public to private sectors. And also we adopted the single registry of transparency of interest, so that will mean a more transparent decision-making process. And also a strong body of legislation and norms regarding the environment. And then the second reason that I have to believe that Romania could join the OECD this year is that, as you know, we just concluded a very successful visit of Secretary General Matthias Cormann in Bucharest, and we got strong encouragement about the potential timetable ahead. So he advanced an optimistic perspective for the current mid-year. So if he's optimistic, we are also committed to be optimistic.
Thank you. Some media are reporting that this could happen somewhere in the summer. Okay, but let me come back to this timeline a little bit back. So there are two topics still open, two technical topics still to be open. So what are the next steps actually? What needs to do? We need a general assembly of the OECD. So what comes after the technical topics?
So first of all, we have to conclude these two technical topics, which are trade and investment. And after that, there will be a meeting of the Council. So the Council is the meeting of the 38 countries, the 38 ambassadors of the OECD, and they have to decide whether they will invite Romania to join the organization. So this is a technical phase. And as you said, the Secretary General of the OECD, Matthias Cormann, wants to invite Romania in June when the ministerial meeting of the OECD will take place in Paris. But as I said, he's optimistic, so we have to be optimistic as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, let's come to a little bit to the more business perspective. You mentioned already many things which facilitated. Establish a better framework. I would like to put it a little bit more in my words. So OECD is a access to knowledge. Let's put like this to the knowledge of the best in the world. Let's say like this, very simple. But it's also it's also put a little bit pressure on Romania to reform and to always have a competitive framework, let's say like this. So these are, let's say, in my words, the main effects from the OECD accession and membership of Romania. So when you put yourself into the perspective of the business environment, in our case, the German companies active in Romania, what positive changes, let's say, in tangible effects, what can we expect from this OECD accession?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the business environment and the German companies and AHK and yourself for your support from the very beginning of the accession process, because I remember we met for the first time quite immediately after we received the roadmap. It was in 2022, and from the very beginning you invited us to talk about the OECD accession, and we had very good accessions, very good exchanges. So thank you so much for this support. So accession to the OECD will mean something that you like, so that will mean greater predictability and stability also for the business environment, because joining the OECD will add to the strong economic advantages we already offer companies and investors thanks to our EU and NATO. So an important point is that economic policies are constantly subject to peer review in the OECD, meaning they are periodically assessed by other member states. So these reviews are very detailed and cover areas such as taxation, education, labor market, innovation, or productivity. So OECD means more discipline for Romania. So OECD also sends a strong signal of credibility to international investors. It shows that a country plays by the rules of developed economies. It signals also that the regulatory framework is predictable, that competition rules are respected, and that institutions function properly, because the country has gone through a long process of evaluating of its public policies, institutions, and the overall quality of the economic environment. So the perception is important, Romania will have a better perception. Romania's membership to OECD can also strengthen our profile with international rating agencies. And in the medium term, this could lead to lower financing costs, which is important for both the state and also the companies. And that will not only benefit to foreign companies that are here in Romania, but also for Romanian companies, which will gain better access to international markets and also economic networks. So in short, joining OECD can help Romania to integrate more deeply into the global economy. And there is another point that I want to raise because, as I said, the Secretary General came to Bucharest and he launched the economic survey for Romania. And in this survey that was released during his visit here, he mentioned that there is still untapped potential to increase domestic value added and strengthen the links between foreign companies and local suppliers, especially compared to more advanced OECD economies. So this is something that we can improve. Of course, as a new member, Romania is already, I think, attractive for European companies, including German companies, but this OECD membership will give an extra boost for Romania and for the investments here and open new doors for the investments in our country.
Yeah, that's very important. Maybe also to add from my side, of course, our chamber, our bilateral chamber of commerce is very much interested to increase the value addition in this country, in Romania, and especially trying to develop bilateral business linkages, so the whole value chain, so that Romanian and German companies can even do more intensively business together. So definitely we will support this also in the future. And another point from my let's say business environment, what I get as feedback is that OECD is sometimes even a criteria for investments. When Romania will become OECD member, this will bring the one very powerful criteria fulfilled so that also investments can be made in various business sectors in Romania. So I can only, let's say, confirm that the criteria, the seal of OECD membership is very important for international investment funds. You were mentioning this as well a little bit. So what the potential, but what kind of obligations are also there for Romania when we to be a member, to be for example, in the European Union, brought also a lot of possibilities, but also a lot of obligations to Romania. Are there similar things also linked to the OECD membership when it comes to obligations for Romania?
Yeah, there are some differences between OECD and the European Union. OECD, unlike the European Union, is not a supranational organization, so it doesn't directly make laws that all members must follow. Its influence, the influence of the OECD, comes from the high standards, reputation, and political pressure it can apply. So there are no sanctions if a country drifts away from the OECD rules, but as I mentioned, the OECD conducts detailed evaluations called peer review. So that means that other countries examine your policies, publish reports with conclusions, and make also concrete recommendations. It's a soft form of pressure, but it's a very effective one because a country reputation is crucial for investment and international credibility. So no country, no OECD member can afford to ignore it. So Romania will also need to be active in the OECD technical committees, send experts to Paris, to organizations' headquarters, work on policy development, share ideas, experiences, and in return, learn from other countries' experiences. So what do you get in return? many benefits. Once again, international credibility, more foreign investment. As you said, there are investment funds who invest just only in the OECD countries, access to technical expertise, influence in setting global standards. This is also important, and also recognition as a stable and advanced economy. So in practice, that means continuing to align with OECD standards. It's not joining the OECD is not, of course, it's a destination. Of course, we want to join the OECD, but the journey will continue. And I think this is the most important benefit, that we will continue to follow the rules, and that we will receive recommendations for the steps we still have to make. And also Romania will be implied in other peer reviews. So Romania will be a member of these peer reviews committees, looking at what other countries are doing in different fields.
Wonderful. I said in the beginning that we want to expand our perspective a little bit on the region. Romania is one of, I would say, the biggest supporter of a tighter integration on the path, on the European path of the Republic of Moldova. Also very much involved in the support for the Ukraine. In my personal view, Romania is the most important and strategic partner for both countries in the Southeast Europe, for the Republic of Moldova and the Ukraine. Can you tell us a little bit more about projects in the region, so meaning Romania, Moldova, Ukraine, regarding OECD? Are there any similar projects? Are there any similar examples here in this region?
Yes, thank you for the question, because OECD is not just a closed club where member states talk only to each other. A big part of the work of the OECD focuses on cooperating and engaging with other countries and regions of the world. For example, the OECD runs programs focused on entire regions like Southeast Europe, Latin America, Southeast Asia, or Africa. So Romania is already contributing to the OECD program that promote the organization priorities both regionally and globally, especially in our neighborhood. I'm talking about for support for the Western Balkans, Republic of Moldova, as you said, Ukraine, Eurasia region. And when it comes to Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova, the OECD support for these countries is very, very consistent. For Ukraine, especially after Russia's invasions in 2022, the organization supports economic reconstruction plans and institutional reforms. And for the Republic of Moldova, the focus is on investment, regional development, aligning with economic standards of developed countries. So the OECD provides this country with the know-how to make their economies more stable and more attractive for investment. And these efforts are also very important for Kyiv and also Chisinau European integration goals. And of course, Romania is strongly supporting the OECD programs regarding these two countries, but we are supporting other programs as well in Africa, for example, in the Western Balkans. So, also Romania is part of the OECD Center in Istanbul. So you can see the broader activity of the OECD, not just only for its member states, but for many other countries interested in developing their economies.
Wonderful. That means also, in other words, that the strategic position of Romania will increase in terms of importance. Another wonderful perspective for Romania to become an even more strategic and more important partner for OECD member countries here in Southeast Europe. Looking on the time, Luca, we came to an end. Maybe one last, more or less personal question. So you are dealing with this OECD accession since many years. You have been also ambassador in Paris and in many other diplomatic missions. How you felt about this process personally? So what were your nicest or the biggest success for you, or the biggest challenge for you? Some personal note about this years of work, let's say like this.
Thank you, Sebastian. I think I will write a book about OECD, our Romanian because there were so many challenges, and honestly, it's an honor for me to coordinate this process, because as I said, after NATO and European Union, is the third main strategic objective for Romania. It's such an honor to deal with that, and also to have such a good team, because I always thought in the leadership of the team. So I have a good team here in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we are working very closely with the Romanian institutions. Honestly, they are performing even better than I was expecting. So I would say that it's a very challenging process. But also a very rewarding one. And maybe I will share more details about how the journey was in this book that I'm thinking. I'm thinking of it.
Perfect. So we have already created a teaser. There is more to come. No, just joking. But we would be very happy to share that you share a little bit more insights on this. So once it's finished, let's say like this. For AHK, this OECD topic is not the last activity that we are doing on the OECD topic. We are planning to have a event in May, just before the summer break, let's say like this, and before important meetings regarding the OECD accession of Romania with our business community. So if you are interested to participate in, stay tuned to the AHK Romania, check our homepage and check our social media. Definitely we stay engaged on the OECD accession, and then also, of course, of the membership of Romania. My great thanks goes to Luca for this podcast, but also for this wonderful collaboration with you, and was a wonderful podcast that we have created here. Thank you very much, Luca.
Thank you so much, Sebastian.